Hello and welcome to another Tabletop Games Blog Saturday review.
The skiers were lined up at the starting line, rifles strapped across their backs, ski sticks in hand. They proudly represented their nations and each represented a different mix of skills. Some were faster going cross-country, others had better endurance, and there were some with precision shooting skills. It would be a tense race. It would be a Biathlon Blast by Lars Max Jensen and Carl Tenland from Karl Max, with art from Damian Mamoliti and Alex Tantras. Racing games are always exciting. Competing with other players to get to the finish line first is exhilarating. It's one of the most direct and literal head-to-head types of gaming experiences there is. Many games have tried different ways of implementing a realistic racing experience, from the traditional and relatively random roll to move, all the way to more and often overly complex simulations that take many hours to complete. Biathlon Blast is somewhere at the easy end of the spectrum. The game clearly aims for an experience that gives players a glimpse of what it's like to be a biathlon athlete. While being quick to learn, it still offers plenty of tactical choices. Even though Biathlon Blast can be played in under an hour, you still feel how tough real skiers have to be to simply finish the race. How it achieves all of this is actually quite simple, but let me start at the beginning. Every skier comes with a unique deck representing different combinations of skills. Some competitors are better at cross-country skiing, others have more endurance, and others are better shooters. That creates a nice bit of variability, allowing players to choose a skier that best fits their playing style. Each skier is then paired up with a unique player board. These are chosen first and define how a skier's abilities can be further adjusted. Some player boards allow you to adjust your skier's skiing ability, while another allows you to control your skier's heart rate so that they have a steady hand when shooting. The unique player boards together with unique skiers create a large number of combinations that allow you to face a different challenge every time you play Biathlon Blast. You could choose a skier whose shooting skills aren't that great and combine it with a player board that improves their heart rate to help even out the weakness. It also means you could easily create combinations that give more experienced players a slight handicap and thereby level out the playing field. One more thing that creates even more variety is that the game comes with a double-sided board, with each side offering two different track lengths. So it's really up to you how quick or long a game you want to play. How you race is a simple matter of choosing a card from your hand and playing it face down. Once everyone has chosen their card, all cards are revealed and players take turns in initiative order. It sounds a bit like you're playing a tabletop skirmish game, but it's an important concept in Biathlon Blast. Who goes first matters, because if you land on a space where there's already another skier, you may have to go back one space, which means your skier has wasted their strength. So each card has an initiative value printed on it, and then different numbers representing the number of steps your skier can move forward on the race course. There are numbers for uphill, level and downhill movement. So depending on the terrain your skier is currently in, you need to find a suitable card. Cards with big movement numbers are great, but they also often show a number that shows how much your skier's heart rate goes up. If the pulse gets too high, your skier collapses and is out of the game. There are also some really good cards that can only be used once and are then out of the game. All the other cards you play go into your discard pile once you've used them. As you can see, managing the cards in your hand is important. You start with a certain number of cards you drew from your skier's shuffle deck, and only when you run out completely can you draw more. There are ways of redrawing early, but that costs you a bullet token, which are limited and are usually more effective when it comes to target shooting. Once your skier has gone around the track once, they reach the shooting gallery. There they roll dice to see how many successful hits they got. Your skier's current heart rate decides what results are a success. A lower heart rate means more chance of hitting the targets. The outcome of your shooting attempt then translates into movement. The more hits, the more steps you are catapulted out of the gallery back onto the track. Doing well with the rifle is very important and can be the difference between falling behind and overtaking the skier in the lead. The dice used for shooting also play another role. They come in 5 different colors, and some cards have a certain color dice printed on them instead of a number. You replace the dice printed on the card with the number of the respective dice. The dice are rolled only when a skier is in the shooting gallery, which can lead to you playing a card that was supposed to give you 6 movement steps, but because of your low initiative, another player takes a turn with their skier in the shooting gallery and rerolls the dice, potentially leaving you with a 1 for the color dice that was previously showing a 6. That shows how important initiative can be and illustrates that while there is some luck in Biathlon Blast, it can be mitigated if you plan well. It's also about timing and managing your cards. You need to have a really good idea about the cards that are left in your deck so you can make the right decision at the right time. While Biathlon Blast will certainly remind you of other racing games, it is also clearly very different. When I first saw the game, I was immediately reminded of Flamme Rouge. They both use a deck of cards to decide how far players move, but the cards in Biathlon Blast require a lot more thought and planning. Hand management is so much more important. The use of dice is also not something you see in the bike racing sibling. What Biathlon Blast does so amazingly well is that it creates a really tense gameplay experience where a skier can easily be eliminated from the race early on if you're not careful. It is also very easy to be in the lead throughout the race, only to lose in the last turn or two of the final lap. I've also been in a position where my skier simply didn't have the cards to reach the finish line at all and was stuck uphill, watching everyone else go past them. The dice create even more excitement. When skiers are close together, it really comes down to rolling well and controlling the heart rate. Time it right and get your skier to the shooting gallery without being out of breath, and you'll be able to get miles ahead. However, there's still a chance that you roll badly and all the hard work and perfect timing were in vain. It can be really nail-biting. Biathlon Blast is a great family racing game that has a fair few rules, but is still quite easy to pick up and certainly pretty quick to play, offering excitement and high-octane tension throughout. So get your skis on and shuffle your deck. May the better athlete win!
Thank you for listening to this Tabletop Games Blog Saturday Review podcast. Please check the description below for links mentioned in this episode, as well as to the written version of this article on the blog. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, give us some stars or leave a review. Please also tell your friends about me, and if you want to offer financial support, check out my Patreon and Ko-fi pages, links to which you'll find in the blog at tabletopgamesblog.com. So thank you again for listening, and I hope to see you again soon.
This podcast was made possible by the generous help of my supporters. Royal Patron Sean Newman, Magic Champion John Risley, Castle Guards David Miller and James Naylor, Dice Masters Alex Bardi, Paul Grogan and Robin Kay, and Shining Lights Jacob Davis, Gavin Jones, Sarah Reed and Richard Simpson.